So excited to finally have James on the show. So great to see you, James.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Ex- Well, great. And I know you've got in your background there your Daisy Ranch, right? A picture of where all the magic happens out there. We're going to talk quite a bit about. Before we dive deep into everything that Choctaw is doing, I know a lot of folks out there. By the way, those that are out there, we are live, so don't forget to add your questions in the chat. Give us positive encouragement. Tell us where you're coming in from. But let's give a good overview, a high level overview first. And I think we have a video to do that. And James, why don't you walk us through what we're going to see here?
Sure. Yeah, the Choctaw Nation is building a really a pretty innovative aviation test facility. We have tribal owned properties, 44,600 acres, very large, 25 miles long. And it's very rare that you have any sort of a landowner that owns that much contiguous property. So we're able to do things that are really only possible typically within the military, and that is control ground risk. So we can completely control ground risk for aviation testing, and we're building out different mitigation layers to address air risk. So we're building something that's sort of like the next best thing to a military test range. You know, we don't have special use airspace, but we're doing the best we can by adding these multiple layers of technical mitigations for air risk. The property is very pristine. It's as you've been able to visit and see it. It's a very beautiful property, a lot of diverse terrain over that 25 miles, and so it allows us to have all sorts of realistic scenarios. We have some really interesting valleys surrounded by hills, or like geographically bounded, and we were able to do quite a bit of testing. We have pretty much persistent companies out here now that are here all the time. We have a couple today flying, and it's been really fun to build this out of literally nothing. We started with just some property, and we've built something that's really pretty cool.
That's amazing. There's so many things in that video. It's so dense, in such a short time. It talks about the integration pilot program and the Beyond program, and the fact that you all were designated as the first PAO, right? The public aircraft, not
Operate.
operators. Thank you. My brain is so full of information for my Part 107 text next week. I can't remember acronyms, James. And no sleep too. Anyway, so what I want to do before we dive deep into all of those topics, tell us a little bit about the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, because I don't know that people fully appreciate the richness and the history and the culture of the nation. Can you give us a little background?
Sure. And my tie to the Choctaw Nation is that I grew up in the heart of the Choctaw Nation. Both sides of my family go back multiple generations, Choctaw cousins, both sides, and so I have a deep appreciation for the culture. But the Choctaw Nation really was the first tribe that's forcibly relocated into what is now modern day Oklahoma. So they were forcibly relocated from their ancestral homelands kind of around Mississippi, Alabama, that area. The first relocation was in the 1830s. And so literally had to pick up everything they could carry and move. And it became known as the Trail of Tears. A lot of the Choctaws passed away, perished on the trail. Very, very difficult. But the character the Choctaw people really showed during that time, because as they were on the march, some of the soldiers told them about the famine going on in Ireland. And the Choctaws were so moved by it. They were just so worried that these people were starving that they raised $160. These were people that were being forcibly moved, had no money because they were being forcibly moved from the homeland. And they raised money and sent to Ireland. And so there's now a monument in Ireland it's called Kindred Spirits, a beautiful sculpture. And there's this kinship now with Ireland, and so we have a very good relationship with the Irish on
And
that.
St. Patrick's Day is Friday, so perfect
Exactly.
timing. I mean, that's just such a
the engineering
beautiful.
holiday, by the way.
I mean, it just shows the heart and the
Yeah.
spirit of these folks. And